Have you ever wanted to bet on rugby but not known how to? I'm Ben Fick from UK Net Guide, and in this video I'll be showing you exactly how it all works. You'll be able to watch over my shoulder as I place real bets with real money on some upcoming rugby matches and tournaments. Before you can get to that stage, however, you'll need to open an account with one of the many bookmakers here in the UK if you haven't already done so. Here are some pointers for what to look out for when choosing a company to go with. First up, you'll want to find out how big the sign-up bonuses are. Most bookmakers will offer you what's known as a matched deposit bonus, meaning that whatever you initially put into your account, they will double it. While some companies will match the first £20, others might double the deposit of up to £200, so this is something to take into consideration. Next, you should try and find out what types of special offer each bookmaker gives to its customers and decide whether they are something that you might take advantage of. For example, some will give you enhanced odds on various markets, while others will give you your money back on losing bets, and such offers can greatly increase the value that you receive. Finally, you should have a quick look at the markets that each bookmaker typically offers. Some give you access to a greater variety of sports and a larger number of possible bets on each market. Keep in mind that different bookmakers will have different odds at different times, so to ensure you get the best prices, we recommend signing up with 2 or 3 betting companies and comparing them each time you place a bet. Now if you're thinking that this all sounds like a lot of work, don't worry, because the team here at UK Net Guide have done it all for you. We've looked at each of the major bookmakers in the UK and we've compiled what we consider to be the top 10 companies. This covers bonuses, offers, range of markets, and best prices, and it is updated on a regular basis as things change. Click the link below to visit this list. Now I'm going to show you some of the various ways that you can bet on rugby, and for this demonstration I'm going to be using Bet365. When you first sign up for an account, you'll have to fill in some standard details such as your name, date of birth, email address, phone number and home address. You'll also be asked to set a username and password, and potentially some memorable security details too. You must be at least 18 years of age to open an account here in the UK. I've already got an account here at Bet365, so I'm going to quickly log in before we go any further. Now that I'm logged in, I'm going to navigate my way to the Rugby Union section because as I speak, the 2015 Rugby World Cup is only 2 days away. The markets for Rugby League will, however, be very similar. The first thing I'm going to look at is tournament betting, and I'll start with the outright winner of the World Cup itself. Now there are at least 6 teams that have what I would call a realistic chance, and it will all come down to who can hold their nerve and who can avoid any damaging injuries to key players. The All Blacks are worthy favourites and will be hard to beat with a strong squad and formidable recent form. England have the home advantage, South Africa are never to be underestimated, Ireland are due a big World Cup performance sooner or later, and France generally perform above their station at World Cups. But the best value, in my opinion, comes from Australia, who have serious World Cup pedigree and a recent victory over the Kiwis to demonstrate their huge potential. Odds of 15-2 look very generous to me. Once you've made your decision, placing a bet is as simple as clicking on your selection, coming across your betting slip, entering the stake you want to put down. In my case, I'm going to put £10 on Australia for a potential return of £85 and hitting the place bet button like so. Once done, your bet is final and cannot be changed. Next, I'm going to move to the top point scorer market. As the name suggests, you have to select the player who you think will score the most points across the entire tournament. Now if we go over to the official Rugby World Cup website and take a look at the 4 pools or groups, it would seem that Pool C is the easiest of the lot. With New Zealand being favourites to lift the trophy up against the likes of Namibia and Georgia, it is easy to see why Kiwi fly half Dan Carter is big favourite. Assuming he plays each pool game, his kicking is likely to see him score a large number of points against these relative rookies, both from penalties and conversions. Now the other pools are likely to involve closer, more cagey games, which inevitably means lower scoring. Since each team plays 4 games in the pool stage and only have a potential 3 more if they progress, more points are likely to be scored in pool games. With all this in mind, I don't see how I could bet on anyone other than Dan Carter at odds of 9-4. A £5 bet will return me £16.25 if successful, and as before, I just click the place bet button to finish. Now we'll look at the betting in the pool stages, and while we could just bet on a team to come top in their pool, I think there is more value to be found in the straight forecast market. Here you have to choose who will come first and who will come second. I'm going to focus on Pool A, which contains the likes of England, Australia and Wales. Before 2 of their crucial players picked up injuries in warm-up games, I could definitely have seen a way for Wales to qualify. But now I think it will be a fight between England and the Aussies. It might all come down to the result when the 2 teams face each other. If we come across to the ESPN Stats website, which contains an absolute treasure trove of information for those looking to choose their bets wisely, we can see that since 2010, England have won 4 of the 6 encounters between the sides, and 3 of the last 4 at Twickenham, where this World Cup game will be held. Based upon this, I will have a bet on England to come first and Australia to come second. This result has odds of 17-10, which means my £5 stake would return £13.50 if I have chosen right. Next up, I'll show you the market which allows you to pick the stage at which a team will get eliminated. I'm going to look at Ireland this time and try to work out when they might get eliminated. First up, let's have a look at their pool. They will face 2 other Six Nations sides in France and Italy, with the other teams being Canada and Romania. So they should definitely qualify for the next stage, which is the quarterfinals, but the question is whether they will come first or second in the pool. Now France are the obvious threats, so let's have a look at their recent head-to-head. Since 2010, they have played each other 8 times, with France winning 4, Ireland winning 2, and 2 draws. The last 2 meetings, however, have been the 2 Irish victories, so this might give us a hint that they will win the game and top the pool. Assuming this happens, let's have a look at who they might face next. As you can see here on the Rugby World Cup website, the winner of Pool D plays the runner-up of Pool C. Now looking at Pool C, it is almost certain to be one of Argentina or Tonga, and Ireland would probably fancy their chances against either. And assuming I'm right and they get through to the semi-finals, their most likely opponents would be either England or Australia, and I think this is where their run would end. So I can bet that Ireland will get eliminated at the semi-final stage, and the odds for this are 2-1. I'll stake £10 for a potential return of £30, and once again click the place bet button to finalise my bet. I'm now going to turn my attention to the individual matches, and I'll start by showing you how to place an accumulator. Here you can see the list of upcoming fixtures in the World Cup. What you'll notice is that in these pool games, where there is a bigger range of abilities, the outright odds for a game can be very unbalanced. For example, England are 66 to 1 on to beat Fiji, meaning you have to bet £66 to get £1 back in profit. So at this stage of the competition, I'm going to place an accumulator on handicaps. Now a handicap simply means that a team is given an imaginary handicap to start with. In England's case, it is 25 points, which you can see here as the number -25. Bet365 price England to win despite a 25-point handicap at evens. So to place an accumulator, all I have to do is make multiple selections. I'm actually going to pick Fiji to win given a 25-point head start, along with handicap wins for Ireland, Japan and France. Clicking on each has added them to my betting slip, and I can click where it says multiple bet options to open up the drop down and find the fourfold option. With 4 selections, a fourfold is an accumulator in which each selection must win. There are also other multiple bet options available here, but I'll save those for another video. For now, I can see that my fourfold has odds of 15 to 1, and I'm going to put £3 on for a potential return of £48. Placing this bet is no different to the others. You simply click the button when you're ready. Finally, I'm going to take you through some of the ways that you can bet on a single game of rugby. I'll click on the England-Fiji game to open up all of the potential options, and there are quite a lot, as you can see. While I can't show you all of them, I can give you an idea of the types of bet that are available. First of all, I'm going to come to the winning margin market, and there are more than one of these with different points margins available. In this particular market, for instance, the winning margins go up in tens. Now remember, the 25-point handicap that we saw for this game just a moment ago meant that the odds were even for each team. So Bet365 clearly believe this is going to be close to the actual winning margin. But if you remember, I actually selected Fiji to win when given a 25-point head start, because I'm banking on some opening game nerves for this England side. I'd be much more inclined to say that they will win by somewhere between 11 and 20 points, which is an option that has odds of 3 to 1. Now I'll take this price and bet £5 for a potential return of £20. If you are feeling really brave, you can bet on the exact winning margin. So if I thought that England were going to win by exactly 19 points, I could get odds of 28 to 1. Or you can bet on the half-time, full-time margins, where you have to get them both right to win. But I'm going to move on to a different type of bet now, the first stoppage market. It's really simple. All you have to do is pick which type of stoppage will happen first in the game. So you've got things such as line out or throw in, a penalty or free kick, a scrum or a try. In a more even contest, I might have considered a penalty or scrum because teams would be more likely to keep possession, but I can see England wanting to press high up the field against Fiji, so I think that a line out or throw in is the most likely outcome. Odds of 4 to 5 mean that if I bet £5, I can expect a return of £9 should my hunch prove correct. Now I'll move on to show you some of the other bets based on the score. You can bet on things such as which players will score tries in the game and whether they will be the first or last scorers, and you can bet on whether a player will score more than one try. You can also bet on how the first points will be scored, whether it will be a try, a penalty or a drop goal. There are plenty of other ways to bet, including a first scorer, half-time, full-time market, where you are asked to predict which team will score first, which will be leading at half-time, and which will win. And as you can see, England are heavy favourites to take each of those accolades in this game. The market that I'm going to bet on, however, is the scorecast. Here you have to predict which player will score the first try and what the winning margin will be. As you'd expect, you can get some pretty high odds. England player Johnny May should be among the try scorers, so I'll pick him and hope that he scores the first try. And as I have already alluded to, I think the winning margin will be less than what many people think, so I'll go for a margin of between 16 and 20 points. And this gives me odds of 30 to 1, so I'm going to put just £1 on, given such high odds. There are lots of team-based markets available, and you can also bet on some markets based on the first half only. You can also bet on the first 10 minutes of the game, should you wish to. And it is worth keeping in mind that all of the games in the World Cup, and most other major international and club games, will have some degree of in-play betting too, which can not only be exciting, but can provide lots of opportunities to uncover good value odds as the action unfolds. That's just about it for this video. I hope I've given you all the tools you need to go out and place some rugby bets of your own. Remember, UK Net Guide has chosen what it considers to be the top 10 bookmakers in the UK, so I'd urge you once again to check out the list by clicking the link below now. It could mean better value and bigger wins. But for now, I'll wish you good luck in any bets you do make. I've been Ben Fick, and I'll see you again another time.